In this video, I'm going to talk about creating your own product and creating your own video course. So this is a part number 2 of step 2, which is creating your information product. And in this part of the lesson, we're going to be talking about video courses and a few other methods for creating your content. Video courses have a lot of value to them. There's several different types of video courses or combinations of video courses that you could do. There's some just like this one, which is PowerPoint style, and for that you don't need PowerPoint. Again, you can use something called OpenOffice Impress to create this. There's also step-by-step screen capture recordings, which actually takes you live on your computer screen where you can actually do video of what you're doing on your screen and actually show people step-by-step tutorials of things like how to update their Facebook page, how to create a Facebook account, how to go in and edit a picture in Photoshop. Those types of things is what we're talking about. You could do live demonstrations in front of a camera or live demonstrations of your cooking. You could use a digital camera. You could use a phone camera. Lots of options there. So I'm going to talk about each one of these methods in particular. The PowerPoint style video, which again is what you're looking at here, you could use PowerPoint if it's already installed on your computer and doesn't cost you anything else. You could use OpenOffice Impress as a follow-up. It's completely free as a backup plan. So if you do not have PowerPoint, again, there's almost everything that you need on the internet. There's a free solution for it. Bullet points teaching your topic. That's really what it boils down to. Just like you've seen me do within this video course, on this very slide, I'm doing, again, a PowerPoint style video. You could structure your training similar to the ebook using those outlines. So in part number 1 of this, I showed you how I scripted out and outlined my ebooks. I actually do a very similar process for video courses, and I did mention that. But you can take that same format, and instead of chapters, each one of these could be a separate PowerPoint slide. So you could have a setup of maybe 5 to 7 modules, which would be 5 to 7 different PowerPoints. And so that way it's not completely overwhelming, which is another reason I kind of broke this course up into 2 parts, because it was actually getting long teaching you all about creating your own product. On the outline, include your main modules again at the top of the slides, or you could actually do a separate entire PowerPoint deck. So like each one of these video courses that I'm doing here is a separate PowerPoint deck, a series of slides. You don't need long sentences. Sometimes I've added a few in here, but you don't need very long sentences as you've seen on this video course. Short bullet points work very well because as you notice, you can actually expand on what you're saying. Just like I'm doing right now, this is a perfect example of how to do this the right way. You can use Cam Studio, you could use Jing, or you could use a software called Screencast-O-Matic for recording the audio and video, again, of what we're seeing. And so you're going to need a software to record your screen. And so the software Cam Studio, which is completely free for PC. Jing works with a PC and a Mac. And then Screencast-O-Matic. You can actually just Google screencast-o-matic.com, or you could just Google Screencast-O-Matic and you'll come to their website. Completely free software that you can use for screen capture. So those are all 3 options, completely free solutions that you could leverage. If you don't have a headset, you could use your built-in computer microphone. Sometimes you do have one laying around. In fact, if you're a video gamer, you can actually use the USB video game headset as an option if you already have one. Most laptop computers, if you're working on a laptop, have a microphone built in, as do the majority of desktop computers. So use the headset or the microphone built in. Again, you don't need to run out and buy one. If you do really want to invest in one, because that's something you really want to do, again, it's not required. This is the no cost income stream, so you don't have to spend money to make money. But if you do have an extra $30 and want to buy a good microphone or a good headset, a Logitech makes a really good one. It's called the Logitech USB headset. You can find them at Amazon. You can find it at your local office supply store. Your big box retailer has them as well. It's just called Logitech USB headset, and that is an option. But again, if you do not have it, do not have the money to do that, that's the purpose of the no cost income stream, is to not have you invest in anything. You can use the built-in microphone. It will work just fine for what you're trying to accomplish here. So step-by-step screen capture recording videos. So I just talked about PowerPoints, but step-by-step screen capture recordings, it's simple how-to instructional videos. Show people how to do things online or on your screen, or how to use different types of software. These are great. Software tutorials are very, very good. You maybe have heard of the professor video courses that you've probably seen advertised on TV. So it's this guy that really shows you in depth how to use Microsoft Excel, how to use Microsoft Office, how to use other software solutions, and he's made a killing. I believe his name goes by the Video Professor, and you've probably seen his infomercials. But he sold, in the past, he sold CDs and DVDs and training, teaching people how to use software. So software tutorials work great. You could even teach people, for example, if you're looking at another niche option, how to use different open source software solutions that maybe didn't know existed. There's all kinds of free software solutions. There's one, for example, called GIMP, GIMP, that is a free version of Photoshop. It basically does everything Photoshop does, and if you could master that, you could actually create a short, inexpensive training for maybe 17 bucks, $27, teaching them how to use GIMP. And it may seem like, well, why would they pay to learn a free software? But they would, because in reality, Photoshop's going to run people 500 to 1,000 bucks depending on what brand. And so if you can teach them how to leverage something like Photoshop without having to buy it, and how to use a cool software like GIMP, you could do very, very well. So software tutorials do very well. Photoshop or GIMP or Paint.net. Microsoft Office products or open office products do excellent. Open source software solutions, just like I was talking about. Things like how to use QuickBooks, another great example. Tutorials on finances or bookkeeping. Tutorials on internet business topics, again, another really, really good examples as well. Live demonstration or teaching. So that would be, instead of you being like I am right now, I'm sitting in front of my computer. You can't see me, but you can hear my voice. You could do live demonstrations. And so you could use a phone camera or digital camera that you already own. No, again, no need to go buy one, or you could borrow one from a friend. Teach in front of a whiteboard with a camera on you, set it up on a tripod and just sit there and script out what you're going to be talking. Shoot your video on a well-lit day with a good window in the room for the best lighting. That's going to give you, really good lighting in that area, and it's going to prevent you having to invest a lot of money in lights and things like that. You could film live demonstrations of this is how I cook. This is how I cook to lose weight. This is how I do these exercises that help me, gain muscle and look better and get more fit. Exercise routines do well. Setting up the perfect model train system. Believe it or not, model trains, another huge niche on the internet. People spend lots of money on this. So if you are an expert at model trains, you could do your own course. Sports skills do very, very well for this kind of training because you're teaching people how to improve their golf swing, how to improve their baseball swing, how to field ground balls, how to be better at shooting a basketball. Those types of things do really well with live teaching. Cooking demonstrations, another great example. So another option for courses, instead of, we talked about ebooks, we talked about video courses, but there's also audio courses. This is where you would record an MP3 audio of your content. It's a fast way to create your content. It's a very quick way to get content out there. You can give some really raw and top training this way without having to have much of an outline even. Tools needed to do this: Audacity. It's a software that's free that allows you to record your voice, and just record your voice only. You don't even need screen capture software. You'll need a USB headset or a built-in computer microphone if you don't have the USB headset. And again, you can start with notes so you know what to discuss, but you don't need to go too crazy. You could actually use the outline system that I used. And if you've done enough research on your topic, again, you don't have to be an expert, but if you know and have done the research, you could start taking notes. A good length is between 1 hour and 2 hours for the course, sometimes 45 minutes even. It doesn't have to be an hour. So again, keep it short enough to be interesting and long enough to give them enough value and the right information. You can break up the recordings into sessions for much easier listening. So 15-minute segments, you could do that as well. Considering offering the transcripts, which is where, again, you would take the audio and then you would write out. You could have maybe a friend, you could have a spouse, you could have somebody you know. If you're not a very fast typer, if you don't want to do this, again, we're not asking you to spend money here. So if you're doing it the free option, the best way is just to do it yourself. So record the audio and then you can type out what you have to say. And that way, if you're selling it as an audio course, your bonus could be an ebook, or vice versa. You sell the ebook and then the bonus is an audio course. So creating another set of products you could create: instead of audio courses, videos, and ebooks, you've also got a series of short reports. These are small products, they're quick to set up, and they can actually sell very, very well. People are interested in solutions that solve their problems. A short 7 to 15 page report that offers a viable solution can be sold very quickly and very easily. And you may not be able to charge near as much though, for these because they are smaller. So they might be more in the range of $7 to $10 each. But they're very good for lead generation. It's an excellent way to go for your first product because you're not having to create an entire ebook. So it actually is a really good starting point for you. It helps you understand the whole process of creating your product. It helps you possibly get into a position where you can see some revenue coming in so you could see how you could scale this even further. Start with bullet points and ideas to get your report out, much like the outline, and these could be easily written in a day and completed in one whole day because they're short 7 to 15 pages. It's got fast turnaround, so you could create several of them, and it's a really good business model. And again, for those, you would use Microsoft Office or you'd use Open Office Writer, which is the free version of Open Office. Step number two, as far as creating your product goes, we've also got a live webinar series. So another part, we're still on step number two of the product creation process. We're just helping you narrow down which option you want to go with. And we're going to talk about the live webinar series. You can give your content in the form of live webinars. So you could actually do PowerPoints. It's an excellent way to sell a product before it is done. So you could actually have in mind what you're going to discuss. You need to have your outline prepared at the very least before you do your sales copy. And then you can sell people on, hey, I'm going to be here for a live webinar. It's the quickest way to get yourself to the market is to sell a webinar series. You could even sell a couple of them and offer a bonus Q&A session at the end of each webinar that you do. And so maybe it's a series of 2 webinars, 5 webinars, 1 webinar, but then you offer a bonus Q&A at the very end. Make sure it is recorded because again, that's how you're going to deliver the content to them. You could use Google Plus for hosting the webinar for free. They actually have a feature called Google Hangouts that you could use if you have a Google account. Consider using a backup screen capture tool like Screencast-O-Matic in case Google Plus, for example, doesn't record your entire webinar the right way. Really know what you will be covering in depth for even better sales. So it's really important that you know beforehand, before you do your sales copy, what you're going to cover. It doesn't mean you have to have the entire product done, but it does mean you need to, at the very least, know what you're going to cover and be prepared to meet the very strict deadlines because you need to have your PowerPoint and training done before you go live, whether it's the first webinar or series of 5 webinars. And then if you're doing it in a PowerPoint format, you could actually offer the PDFs as well. So they could get the videos and then they could get the PDF copies of your PowerPoint slides as an added bonus. Another part of step number 2, which is creating your product, is coaching services. That's another sort of product you could create. So another way to not force you to have a product done, much like the webinar series, is to do different coaching services. So life coaching, business or investment advice coaching, those types of things, fitness or dieting coaching help. You could help people with their diet plans. And so we're not talking like actual product, we're actually talking about customized solutions for individual people. Money saving advice is another great example. Relationship coaching and help, really good example that you could offer one-on-one help for people. And so these are things you could set up on a sales page and you could sell that. You could offer sessions of your time as a service to your clients. Another set of products you could create is expert interviews. So this is where you can find an expert in your chosen niche market to interview them. You could record a free Skype session, so you could download Skype, or you could use Google Hangout and get both of you together to interact on a Google Hangout session that is recorded. Have a prepared list of questions ready for the interview and then get their bio ahead of time so you can properly introduction. So make sure they know how they want to be introduced. And this is a great way to get content created without you having to be the expert. Act like you're having a regular conversation with them. Be calm. And it also works if you do a written interview where you email them questions. They respond with their typed answers, and now you have your product created. You could do a series of these. So you could have interview 10 experts on a certain topic. Let them pitch their website, their products, and their services. They're doing you a favor by creating content, so you need to help them by letting them pitch their material as well in that product. So they're helping you create your product, so let them pitch their services as well. And so that's a great way to make it a win-win solution because it gets them exposure in front of your buyers, but it also helps you create your quality product so you can actually build up that following of buyers. Make it a win-win situation for them, and it could be a joint venture partner in the future, and you may even find that they want to promote this product for you. So again, you could do an interview series of 5 experts or 10 experts. For your first product, maybe do a 5 expert series interview just to make it shorter and smaller. But it's a great way to create your first product. If you're doing audio recordings, maybe offer the transcripts of it, of all the different audio recordings as a huge value added bonus. So another idea to really spice up that offer. Done for you services. You can launch services that you do for people, and that could be like your product. So, examples of services, you could do graphic design services, like if you have Photoshop skills, writing articles, short reports, or ebooks for people. Doing video editing, another really good example. Video editing services do very, very well. How to edit videos and add in new information on them. Those are services people want. Bookkeeping services. A lot of you may have skills using QuickBooks, and people and businesses need that experience. SEO services. Maybe you've done enough research on SEO and building backlinks and press releases and those types of topics that you could do a really good service. Website design. Another example. Blog setup. How to set up a blog from start to finish. Computer programming. Those are all different kinds of services that you can offer. And we're going to go on and actually junk this into a part number 3 now, actually, because I do want to make sure this is easy for you to digest. And so we just talked about all the different styles of products you can create. So I hope you found one that sings to you, one kind of product that you can create. And in part number 3 of this, this is going to be how to create your perfect product package. And so I'm going to talk about how you can combine these to create that perfect product package so that it is an irresistible offer that you can easily sell.